Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Just Y'all to Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Thursday night before turkey comes your way.
I am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific hunter himself, Zealeus. Zealeus.
It's good to see you, good sir, on the wild side of Funko Pops.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout. This is a weekly show where we try our best to cover the topics that are most important to you. If you haven't yet submitted your topic, question, or whatever, have no fear. You can drop it in the chat, and it will be added to the topic list for the show. Now, because we are streaming on 3 different platforms, we got Twitch, we got YouTube, we got Facebook. Not only is the chat that you see during the show connected to all 3, but I also have it running on to my right, just in case for some reason it doesn't work. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if we unfortunately run out of time, those topics will be added to the beginning of next show. Which, unless something crazy happens, it's not going to be next Thursday because that is the Turkey Day.
I mean, that's a pretty big deal.
Exactly. So ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right into it. And the first thing is, craziness is going on. It looks like there's a massive patch coming out for the one, the only, New World with lots of balancing. Zealeus, have you heard anything?
So I've actually kind of moved on in my MMO world.
Oh my God! He's given up, ladies and gentlemen. It's over.
I've already forsaken New World for I picked back up the Final Fantasy 14 mantle, which will take me like 8 years to catch up to the actual Endwalker release.
It's understandable. Sometimes you gotta make sacrifices, sir.
That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make, if you know what I mean, sir.
Indeed. All right, so well, I guess that just does that for that topic then, Zealeus.
I know. I'm sorry. I can't help. I know the other game I used to play a lot, Outriders, came out with another recent patch, which was apparently very well received by the audience. So here's the problem: is it's a FPS, and they have different builds.
Mm-hmm.
So you got kind of tanky, more DPS-y, more glass cannon, but they made the end game based solely around how fast can you clear content, which basically ended up creating one viable build for each class because it was literally what is the fastest. But they finally released new in-game maps that's basically just based off of can you clear it, which means other potentially more fun and enjoyable builds are now, as long as they can clear the content, it doesn't matter at the time anymore, which I think is a great change to any FPS game personally, where it's not about the time and the sweaty palms as it is, can you just kill all the enemies in a given amount of time?
Gotcha. Interesting.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where you can't really cheese it. It's not like you can spend 15 hours, like you'll die. Like some games you could do that. So they have intentional timers where you can cheese it in that way, but just stringing on indefinitely. So I think as a balance, it works because the problem is it made no other in-game builds viable was the whole problem. So you basically eliminated any variety in the game. And that was the part that kind of sucked.
Variety is good. Variety keeps things fresh, hopefully. unless you're adding random modes and stuff within a game and seeing if it'll stick, then that's not the variety you want.
Variety is the spice of food, man.
Now, I believe it was the new Call of Duty just had a patch, and apparently people are like, yeah, no, it's still not good.
Call of Duty is definitely a game I do not follow. So, yeah, I couldn't tell you anything about that.
Well, I mean, the thing is, for me, Call of Duty is that quintessential game where yes, I'm sure that there is some story mode. And to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure it's just like a tutorial at this point. Call of Duty is like the Madden of military first-person shooters. To me, that's my opinion.
Yep.
It's literally they upgrade. They update the graphics. Maybe they add some new weapons. They add some different maps, and they slap a new name on there, and ta-da! There you go, new Call of Duty.
Yeah, and obviously it's definitely the money maker for Activision. Speaking of, is there a certain other Activision story you're going to be touching on?
Yes. Thank you, Zealeus, for bringing it up. Ladies and gentlemen, we do need to talk about an interesting story that has been picking up steam. And that is the fact that there is a petition out there that is growing by the minute. And this petition is being signed by employees, part-time employees, and also contract employees.
Well, they don't count. Come on.
Hey, they still work, and they still have to report to this guy. And the guy's name, of course, is the one and only Bobby Kotick, the CEO of Activision Blizzard. Here's the deal. He's still there, and apparently he was very much aware of the toxic environment, the sexual harassment, the pay discrepancy, which continues to be in the courts. And so there's a lot of employees and a couple of ex-board of directors who want this guy gone. Now, of course, the
current board is like, we love you.
Yes. Yeah, they're like, well, I think it's grossly overstated, blah, 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 blah.
You guys don't have all the facts, don't you know?
Look, here's the deal. As the CEO, you basically are the face of the company. And the fact of the matter is that he kind of just let it slide. And when you're dealing with that level of shittiness and corruptness and toxicity, you got to be held accountable. And if you're going to let that slide, maybe it's time to go somewhere else. Now, to be honest with you, I feel like Blizzard, well, I don't even want to go into Blizzard, but the Activision portion, I guess in the stock market, is this. Are they publicly traded? I don't think they are.
Yeah. Activision is, yeah. It's under Bandai, I think, is what it is.
We have a lot of toxicity in your chat alone. I'm sorry. I'm trying, but Zealeus keeps typing random stuff in the chat. It's just terrible. No, seriously. I think the last time it was updated was like 1,000 signatures. I'm sure that it's probably grown since the last time it was reported. Oh, that's right. Well, of course, fine. Yes, our own personal troll is back in the chat. So please hurry up and join the fun. No, you gotta be held accountable. And if you screw the pooch as bad as he did, there's got to be consequences. Right now, he's not doing it.
Well, the other thing too is, I don't know if you've seen, but recently you've actually had Phil Spector, the lead of the Xbox division, come out, send emails to his staff. Same with Sony, basically being like, this can't happen.
Yep.
And with Phil actually saying that they're reevaluating their relationship with Activision.
So is Sony.
Excuse me. So it's, one thing when you have, excuse me, like your own staff being like, well, this is bad. But now you're talking the one language that actually matters to the boards and corporations around America, and that's monies. So when you start actually having, without Microsoft and Sony supporting your game, you ain't got nothing if you're Activision. So now if you start having them breathing down your neck, that could actually cause something to happen.
Well, the interesting thing is, the Microsoft thing could have further reaching ramifications. Not that Sony Sony's saying we're reevaluating it. It's not, it's not. I'm not trying to say that the Sony threat is any less than Microsoft, but seeing that Microsoft technically has two platforms, yes, I understand there is more than just the Microsoft store, which I wonder if there's Activision stuff in the Microsoft store.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Interesting question.
I know that they've been teasing constantly the cross-platform, was it the Game Pass thing? But I'd be very interested to see. Look, here's the deal. They need a change. I mean, they've been changing because of court cases, but this guy, after learning as much as I have about this guy and then seeing his smiling face, it does irk me. Not gonna lie, it does irk me, and yeah, homeboy's got to leave. The issue, I am going to butcher the name, and I've been trying to avoid the name, but Kekiel 08. The issue is video games are becoming such a monopolized thing, and the companies who own it currently don't truly care. It's because of money printing. Of course, I mean that's the thing though, and this is why Zealeus and I, with Microsoft, the platform owner, and Sony, the platform owner, going, we are reevaluating our relationship with Activision. Now you're basically starting to put the Activision cojones.
That's one thing that's like the one thing I think could actually have teeth.
Right.
And another, because they're the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, it would be like, it's almost like Apple kicking Riot to the street. If they're like, we're going to kick you off the App Store because of your relationship with China, which we know that's not going to happen.
Well, there was more than just that. But yeah.
But in terms of this, like, this is a big deal, I think, potentially for Activision to think, ooh.
They make in the chat, they make so much money it literally costs them less to pay sexual harassed employees than to fix the issue they have created. Absolutely, I fully agree. And the thing is that the lawsuits are finally starting to pile up, and now, of course, Sony and Microsoft threatening to, this reevaluation. Hopefully, this is not just a smokescreen. Hopefully, if something doesn't change, I want to see them get penalized. To be honest with you, they have been pissing me off since since the merger with Blizzard. Because now, I don't think that Blizzard is completely not to blame because, of course, as Zealeus put in the chat, McCree was a big Blizzard name.
That's actually not me.
Was it?
Yep.
Oh, my bad. But, what was his name? What did they rename him again?
Shooty McPeety, crappy name. I don't remember.
Not really like awesome Western badass name. Cody, I think.
They should have named him was like Clint Eastwood.
That would probably be copyright. It doesn't piss them off. Get rich quick. Go work at Blizzard. Get touched by your boss. Profit. No.
That's a very practical and utilitarian way of thinking about it.
Well, the unfortunate thing is there's probably some truth to it because once again, as long as the company's making money, they're not going to make changes. It's the three keys to success.
No, I mean, there is definitely, when these situations were given to light, they absolutely did the calculations of, is it worth the money to just pay them off for hush money, or does it cost more to do it the other way around? That was definitely the cost benefit of business.
Right. And to be honest with you, I think that the individuals who have been removed from Activision Blizzard were like the scapegoat sacrificial lambs, and we're probably I mean, this is total speculation. I don't know for sure, but there's a very good chance they probably were already headed towards the door. Because especially on the Blizzard side, as I repeatedly say, Activision has literally killed Blizzard, and I have nothing against Vicarious Visions, but Vicarious Visions now holds the Blizzard moniker. It's no longer Blizzard.
It's not. There's no disputing that.
So I mean, hopefully something changes. This guy's job is technically in the hands of the board of directors. Now, yes. from the brief comment that the board of directors made, they're like, we're still successful, we're still making a profit, so I don't think they give a shit. But hopefully, once again, profit.
They'll back him as long as he makes the money. Is what it comes down to.
The chat room says you're looking at literal basement trolls who learned coding and now build games for billions and believe they are entitled to anything they want, including sexual relations with anyone until they change the tune of who works for them. They will never, ever change anything. True. Very true. Remember, I think it was like a couple weeks ago, there's a company that was created, I think it was ex-Blizzard employees, and they were proud to announce that there are no females on staff outside of the mascot dog.
Well, it's probably also an echo chamber of nobody who's going to tell you, maybe this is inappropriate. Then in turn, then the newbie, even if they think it is, if they're one of 50, they're going to be, by virtue of that association, going to be silenced into doing anything anyways. Right. So there's always that effect where once that core of mass population, it's really hard to really have any change come about it.
And to be totally brutally honest, this is not a video game only issue. I mean, this goes across the board. I mean, we've heard a lot about super entitled news anchors, individuals who own film production studios. Hell, even universities have issues like this. The HR, human resources, is supposed to be on the employee side. I know. It's silly me for thinking that they actually have your best interest, especially if you're female. Now, if you're male, it's a 50-50 shot. It depends on who you're having an issue with. If it's a higher upper, then it's basically in the hands of the boss of that higher upper. Once upon a time, I had a boss that literally could not be touched, and so it didn't matter what I said, so I just hushed. Akiko said, no, this literally exists everywhere. News, models, casting couch, getting into literally anything Fortune 500. I think it goes, yes, Fortune 500, but I think it also extends outside of Fortune 500. I mean, absolutely does. But games have caused a massive stir since it's one of the most profitable things ever. Agreed. Actually, you know what? Video games and I guess at the same time, you've got a lot of actresses for TV shows, for movies, finally coming out and talking about this as well. I mean,
well, there are also businesses that by nature are very social, like video games are. social. You play online like Modern Warfare. It's an online game.
Yep.
Diablo's an online game.
Yep.
And I think same thing with like actresses. That started with the Me Too movement a couple of years ago. That is their livelihood is literally being in the public eye. And so there's a natural correlation between the ability of them to, be in the public eye and then the news actually being made public with sexual harassment versus, not to mitigate what they go through, but if like you're a random employee at Fortune 443 company, unfortunately, nobody's going to care if you make a social media post because it's just not in the social limelight. But if you are a, actress who are like, well, this is screwed up, or you have a mass of people at a video game company, which is publicly in the eye, especially with everything that's already happened with Blizzard, it is much easier to make that public situation known to everyone versus random Fortune 443 company that nobody cares about.
Yes. It just said you're subscribed to our channel. Anyways, we'll see what happens. It looks like,
right now, all the responses from like the board and Activision are basically the very definition of corporate. This is going to blow over. It's fine.
Actually, there was just...
That's the responses.
Let's see. Hold on. There might be a... There apparently was or is a shareholder group meeting that has been called. So, hell, maybe shit's actually going to... yes. Okay, so your subscription, we have to have enough... You need to just basically blast the fact that we have this show, and then if we have enough followers or viewers, it could... What do you mean? What do you mean? Concurrent viewers. If you have a certain amount, then you get eligible to cash at me. You could do that. Or you could just go to www.alteredconfusion.com and you could click on the PayPal link. I think it's still there. Actually, speaking of the website, I did, of course, finally post the No Ni Kuni 2 review, and I was actually writing up an editorial about why I'm... Boo! Okay, then I will give you the Cash App information offline. I'm in the midst of writing an editorial about why I'm more and more hesitant about writing reviews for mobile games. Mainly because I feel like mobile games literally change every month. Like the actual game gets like new features or they tweak shit to the point where my review is going to be pointless.
Well, yeah, it's because you have to continue the rat race, because if you're an online game, usually free to play, you have to continue to give out the trickle awards so that your whales continue to purchase large money's worth of content, and basically what amounts to a casino.
So if you're looking for reviews of the games I'm playing on my phone, you're not going to find them. You may hear me say, "Hey man, it's a cool game," and just check it out. But I'm not going to write a review, because literally when I post it, if you look for it, like 2 weeks later, there's a new mode. They've changed something. They've tweaked something. So,
Yeah, I could see that.
Okay. Going on, changing gears slightly.
What kind of gears are we switching to?
We're going to leave the realm of legal matters.
Go to illegal matters?
Well, I mean, it's been quite a few weeks now, but apparently one of the main dudes who is doing some sort of device that I think like jailbreaks some Nintendo devices has changed his plea to guilty. After going, I don't know what you're talking about, but having a website set up to sell said device to plug into your Nintendo device to jailbreak it, you can't really hide from that.
Yeah, I think they know it's you.
Yeah.
Nice try, though.
So there is, of course, there is a, as you may know, many people probably don't, but there's this thing. There's a lot of movies based on these comic books. These are these pieces of paper that are stapled together and have different, characters. And there's one big one called the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Anywho, interesting thing has come out about the MCU, sort of. I mean, it is, but it isn't. No, it is, because he's included in it. And that is the fact that our current Spider-Man is already wanting to exit. Simply because to be honest with you, I'm a little surprised, and I want to see what kind of stunts the Spider-Man actors have to go through. Yes, Tom Holland is already stepping away, is about to step away from Spider-Man, because he's like, I don't want to be someone over the age of 30 with serious back problems. And I'm like,
that's one of the reasons Tobey Maguire stepped away.
Exactly.
Back problems.
Exactly. And then, of course, Andrew Garfield, I think that's his name, basically said something stupid and got his ass kicked to the curb. I
don't think I actually saw any of the Andy Garfield.
I did.
That phase doesn't exist to me.
I did. But here's
I like Tom Holland.
I do. I do too.
I think he's a good Spider-Man.
But here is the problem. The new phase of MCU that was introduced spoiler alert, I guess, I don't know, I think we're outside of spoilers by now. The end of the movie Infinity Wars, or the end of the Infinity Wars, the new Avengers has Spider-Man.
Yep.
So with Tom Holland stepping away, we're going to introduce another Spider-Man. Look, I have no problem with recasting, but Spider-Man just seems excessive. I don't know what it is about Spider-Man. It's like 3 movies and I'm done.
I feel like, ironically, maybe it's because they've gone through 3 actors for Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the one actor that's very interchangeable in terms of who it is. I feel like if they tried changing Thor to somebody else, they're like, huh?
They are changing Thor.
Well,
to Natalie Portman.
Yeah, that's different. At least you're changing genders. To me, it was like, okay, there's at least logic to that.
So if Gwen Stacy were to pop in instead of Spider-Man, would you be okay,
with that? Sure. Pull back. Who is the one from the first Spider? Who is the chick? Bring in Kirsten Dunst. She could be Spider-Woman. Or if they changed out Iron Man, and please don't bring in what's her name. I can't say
it's Pepper Potts, man.
No, hell no. God no. Robert Downey Jr. Sorry, nobody else can be Iron Man. It just wouldn't work.
It's all about War Machine, man.
Well, no, actually, Thor going to being a gender swap, that's actually canon. That's not totally randomly made up. That actually happened in the comics. Yeah,
well, because the thing is that Natalie Portman's character, which I can't remember off the top of my head, she develops, I think it's cancer, some kind of incurable disease. And the only thing that can save her is to gain the mantle of Thor, which gives her basically immortality.
See, that at least from a story perspective makes sense. Whereas up to now, all the Spider-Mans have just been poof, new actor.
Well, okay, so but here's the thing. So perhaps Marvel has seen the writing on the wall, and of course the super success of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So they are, especially with the Doctor Strange next movie, with all the multiverses.
Yeah.
Now you have the capacity to have these characters, different versions of the characters, different actors, gender swaps, all that stuff occur. Uh, if you, ladies and gentlemen, if you out there have Disney Plus, you may have watched the What If series, where it was like, what if, let's see here. One of them was, what if Captain America, oh my gosh, Steve Rogers couldn't get into like the super soldier, like
Yeah.
thing fast enough, and so Carter, his girl, the lady, jumps in there and becomes the super soldier. Captain Carter is what she goes by. But so with this like introduction, this true introduction for like multiverse, I could see it working. And also, please, whomever is making the next Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, just give it to me. I need it. And it's super duper. It hits a special spot in my heart that after the credits, there is a quick scene involving the individual who is Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2099, which was a series that I loved, which wasn't very well perceived, but I still liked it. So
the real question is, has anybody seen Eternals?
I've heard it sucks.
Oh.
Like,
I haven't seen it.
I heard that it's not up to par. They have a shit ton of star power, and they introduce a gay superhero, but I think they just I don't know. I of course have not seen it, but I've heard that it's just kind of like meh. Now, speaking of things that I'm waiting in anticipation, ladies and gentlemen, there's a very good chance that I may disappear tomorrow, and you may not see me. Okay, for a while, and that, of course, is that the live-action Cowboy Bebop is being released on Netflix, and I'm either going to be crying or going, okay.
Speaking of, though, sorry, go on.
No, go.
Have you seen the new? Have you seen the League of Legends anime?
Arcane. I've watched the first 4 episodes.
I'm actually pleasantly very entertained by it, honestly.
I want to talk about it, but it's still in the spoiler alerts because they're still releasing episodes.
Oh no, I would totally agree. But I would say, if you're out there, you're like, should I watch this League of Legends? Yes, like watch it. I think it's great. I hope they do more. I hope it goes on. You're right. So right now they're on episode 6 out of 9.
Yeah.
Yes. No spoilers. We're not doing any spoilers. I'm just saying, watch it. It's definitely.
I do have to say, there was Loki on Disney Plus. I thoroughly enjoyed that. The twists and turns that also had the multiverse play into. That was a main component of the Loki series.
Multiverse. They're just stealing from DC, man.
They've been doing. Everybody has multiverse simply because you have different authors who want to take different stabs at the characters to brand them in their own way.
I'm just saying the very basic premise of like basically the DC cinematic TV, not movie, because I ignore that. Their TV universe is basically based around leveraging the multiverse. Without the multiverse, you basically don't have DC on the silver screen.
True. Speaking of the MCU, there is yet again a push to bring I forgot the guy's name. The guy who played Daredevil in the Netflix series. They want that version of Daredevil put into the MCU, which I have no problem with. Don't bring the Ben Affleck version, because even Ben Affleck goes, that was terrible. But
I think what worked though, so I guess that's a good point though. Are there certain MCU characters, like let's just take in this case, Daredevil.
Yep.
I would probably actually put Jessica Jones in this category too, that work much better as a television series where they can work it out over a number of episodes, kind of explore that character, where when you try to, think about it, if you tried putting the Jessica Jones basically horror element of I can't remember the actual bad guy's name now. It's David Tennant.
Yeah, I know. What was his name?
Wasn't it Kilgore or Kilgrave or something?
Yeah. I'm gonna Google it on the other page, but
if like you put him in like in a hour and a half, 2 hour movie, you're not gonna get that same effect. He's gonna come off probably as being cheesy at that point. Like, well, this guy doesn't terrify me. But when you basically have 8 episodes to completely screw with somebody's mind, you're like, oh, this actually works.
Kilgrave.
Yep. Or like part of, to me, what made Daredevil so great was Fisk's bad guy. Like he was, to me, he's actually favorite part of the entire series. But it works over in his television series. We get to learn his motivations and he gets to show off his acting chops, where it's just a 2-hour show. Let's be honest. DC or Marvel's going to make him just another random bad guy who has no lasting effect on your memory. Whereas I'll never forget the bad guys of the Marvel TV shows.
Charlie Cox is the actor.
Charlie Cox. Whereas like Thanos worked because he expanded multiple movies. It wasn't just, well, you're going to come in only for Endgame, but we never see you before that. Like he was like, how many times was he teased? And he was in 2 full movies. That's why he worked. So for me, that's where like, I don't know if Charlie Cox alone does anything. To me, you also have to have that bad guy who also makes it interesting.
Yes. That's the, in my opinion, I think this is kind of globally accepted. If you are going to take on a role of an established character, especially, comic books that are widely known, you need all the parts to work. And that's, to be honest, that's what scares the shit out of me about the Cowboy Bebop live action. From the trailers I've seen, I'm sold on the guy who plays Jet. I'm sold on the person who plays Faye Valentine. I still am having a problem with the dude who's playing Spike Spiegel, which is the main character. Yes, I understand. Those 3 are. And I'm still a little bit concerned because I've yet to see anything about Ed. But
what about the dog who plays the Corgi? What do you think of that?
Thank God they didn't pull a Transformers and they actually have a fucking Corgi. Bumblebee is a VW bug. Okay? It's not, what did they change it to? A Corvette or Charger or something?
Yeah, it was a Mustang or something, I think.
It's a more relevant car. There's still Beetles on the road. Okay?
It's iconic.
Exactly. I understand. Now, of course, we're going on this tangent, but I do understand the need to make Megatron something other than what he originally was. In the early 80s cartoon, Megatron transformed into like a massive gun. So I think he's now a tank, I think. And that, okay, fine. I understand that. I mean, it's still shooting.
I have no idea. I
But
think
also,
I
it
saw
didn't make any sense why he would transform into like it's like literally like a what do you call it? A Desert Eagle pistol.
Yeah, I think I saw the first Transformers with like Fox. I
Yep.
forget her first name. Megan Fox.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Oh,
good.
so you want bad movies? Have you ever seen Aliens versus Aliens and Cowboys?
Yes.
That may actually be one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Like everything about that movie just
Was half-ass.
What?
Everybody was sleepwalking through the entire movie. Have you seen the movie Jonah Hex?
And the script, like the decision every single character made from like a logic standpoint was like, no, like oh my gosh.
Have you seen the movie Jonah Hex?
No, I'm not. Is it bad too?
Same thing.
Oh,
It's
one of those movies where like you vote on. It's got like producer Steven Spielberg. It's got John Favreau involved. It's got Harrison Ford. It's got Daniel Craig. I'm like, how bad can this be?
It's bad.
Oh, it's bad.
Look, here's the deal.
Bad.
Gaining an all-star cast in a movie does not assure that it's going to be a good movie.
True. Very true. Yeah, it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Versus like, then you turn and you got, what is it? Code Red, which is the new Netflix movie with The Rock and Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot.
That's Red Notice.
Red Notice, which is actually, I think my favorite description was literally an AI bot wrote that script.
I enjoyed it. It was stupid, but I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong.
I love the twists, and of course, Ryan Reynolds. As long as you allow Ryan Reynolds be Ryan Reynolds.
No, it's not a bash. It's not a bad thing. But if you look at the script, you look at the actors, it's basically like they went to film school and like get an AI bot to actually write the like blockbuster movie based on other movie algorithms that's getting rated well. It's not going to offend anyone, but people are going to get the good chuckles out of it. And it's going to be just a nice twist at the end so we can have another movie after it.
Oh, yeah. Now, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, they set it up for a sequel.
Oh.
Like hardcore, they set it up for a sequel.
But it's worth watching. It's a fun 2-hour flick, no doubt.
Oh, yeah. Ironically, I just watched it last night. So
yeah, I enjoyed it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to make a quick pause to thank the friends of the show. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's start it off right. And the first one, of course, is the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. If you'd like more information, go to indiecluster.com. That's INDIECLUSTER.com. Now, of course, the next one we have to thank is the one and only Noodle Boy Media. Noodle Boy Media was founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran. Noodle Boy Media, previously known as Whack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to thank Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore, the company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. Now, of course, since we thanked all of the friends of the show, let's do a quick bit of Alter Confusion love. Ladies and gentlemen, Zealeus and I, once again, did partake in Extra Life, which is something that we love and support. So I'm just going to give you a quick little... we did the 24-hour game-a-thon, but I still want to give you some... give it the correct amount of love and attention. And that is, we have proudly fundraised for Extra Life for 10 years straight. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to Children's Healthcare Atlanta, which of course is our Children's Miracle Network hospital, as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, please go to extra-life.org and search for Alter Confusion. Yes, we may have done the 24-hour game-a-thon, but there is still time to do your donation. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of self-love, and that is we have a Patreon page. Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you. And so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, supporters, lovers, haters, demons, demigods, extraterrestrials, interdimensional individuals, and of course, monsters, to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. Ladies and gentlemen, currently there are 2 different tiers that you can do, that you can become a part of. Now remember, this is a monthly subscription, so the first tier is a $1 a month. That's $12 a year subscription. And what that does is it allows you early access to all the playthroughs and also the ability to take part in polls and also posts that are patron only to help shape the future of Alter Confusion. Now, if you want to take a step up, ladies and gentlemen, there is the $5 tier. That is $5 a month or $60 a year. And what that will give you is not basically all of the rights of the $1 tier plus your name or organization added to our thank you section of every Thursday night hangout. So if you want to be a patron of Alter Confusion, go to patreon.com/alterconfusion. Patreon is spelled Patreon.com. And of course, because the masses demand it, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support Alter Confusion, but perhaps you do not want to do it in a subscription form, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to maybe give us something to show off during our show, to unbox per se, all you got to do is mail it to us. And the address that you will mail it is, of course, 1551 Dunwoody. That's DUNWOODY Village Parkway. And here comes the very important part. Number 88276. Once again, number 88276. That's the P.O. Box number. If you do not add that to the address, it will not get to us. It will go to the post office proper and will be returned to you within a week. The city, of course, is Dunwoody, DUNWOODY, Georgia 30338. Sam Grizzle, at the tier 100, you can throw a party at Charlie's house. Probably not going to be able to swing that, Sam, because as everyone knows who's married, happy wife, happy life. And if I try to pull that kind of stunt without the go ahead of my wife, I will die. a very violent death, and no one will ever find my body.
Well, what a way to go.
And because Zealeus is part of Alter Confusion, he probably will disappear as well because he allowed it to happen.
That's not fair.
I'm kidding. No, I'm not. Maybe. Who knows?
I mean, who would take care of Rose?
Rose could take care of herself. She'll be released into the wild and kill everything.
Probably true. Yeah. She would devour the monsters.
Death monster will devour. Was it difficult people?
Yes.
Okay, so there was a bit of news about a reboot of a show, or a cartoon, I should say, that was, I think it was in the 90s. And that is, of course, they are rebooting Earthworm Jim.
What?
Yeah, they're rebooting the cartoon for Earthworm Jim.
Now, that's one I have not thought about in a long time, sir.
For those who don't know who Earthworm Jim is, he's basically an earthworm who was like, it was kind of like Ninja Turtle style. Like he got affected by something and then I always was curious how the hell he worked that entire suit with the gun, because he's an earthworm. He does not have arms. He does not have legs. And yet he could do everything.
He's got skills, man.
Mad skills. But yeah, they're relaunching Earthworm Jim. I don't know how that's going to go over. I mean,
but like, if you're relaunching a television series, shouldn't like the game that you're basing it on be like relevant in terms of video game popularity? And usually a cartoon, you're usually marketing towards the younger crowd, and they're not going to know what the hell Earthworm Jim is.
Yeah, I think the thing is, for me, when I think Earthworm Jim, I immediately associate it with Sega, which of course has gone the way of the dodo birds, kind of, sort of. I mean,
like it was a resurrecting dodo bird.
By the way, Earthworm Jim ran from 1995 to 1996. There's 23 episodes, so it sounded like it was a long-lasting show.
I forgot it was even a television series, to be honest.
I think I watched almost the entire series. Now you want to talk about series that I keep saying that I'm going to watch, and I watch bits and pieces, but I never actually watched the entire thing, and that is Pirates of Darkwater.
Yep, definitely haven't seen that.
Oh, it's so good. Like, at least I think it's good. I've never actually watched the entire thing, which I don't know if there's, I think partially because I don't think that there's going to be closure at the end of it. And as Zealeus and I were talking about last week, closure is a good thing when it comes to series. Yeah. So that's probably one hesitation. The other thing is that I watched that show like back in the early 90s, about the same time as Earthworm Jim. And I'm afraid that when I rewatch it, I'll be like, oh, this really sucks. Nostalgia is stupid. But yeah. So if you are, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be part of the Discord community, hit us up through any of the social media means, and we will give you the link to join Discord. If you've been watching the status of me on Discord, you'll see that I've been playing way too much FTL, Faster Than Light.
You got pulled back into the game.
I finally unlocked all of the ships, the A layout of the ships in FTL. Now I'm working on getting the B versions, and that's just the basic one. I haven't turned on the advanced edition.
Are you excited about having unlocked all of them?
Yes, but some of the stupid quests in FTL, you have to complete 2 of the 3 like mini quests in order to open up the B variety of the ship. And some of it is just absolute crap. Like, how the hell am I going to pull that off?
Yeah.
And there's other ones like, I could do this with my eyes closed. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't thought of FTL in eons.
Apparently, it's still very popular. We have 2 huge fans of the show, that being, well, actually myself. Of course, I'm a fan of the show, but also the Mayo is huge into FTL as well.
Oh, there is a big update for,
Yes.
I see, yes. So I was looking at the update with New World. It has the Void Gauntlet, where you can manipulate the powers of the Void to support your allies and debilitate your enemies. Interesting. Cool.
Hey, anybody want to hear something really crazy?
Yes.
Sega's introducing cologne.
Does it smell like Sonic?
Yeah, Sonic and Yakuza.
Damn, yo. You have 92 hours of FTL. That's impressive.
Yeah. But
isn't cyber stalking your friends fun?
Yes, it is. And to be honest with you, I think I've successfully gotten through an entire run 6 times in that humongous amount of time.
Ooh, this game looks mildly addicting.
What?
Factory Town. Build, automate, and optimize a giant factory on 3D terrain using conveyor belts, trains, blah, 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 blah.
Sounds like your type of game.
Must say no. Yes, it does.
Oh, Zealeus. Zealeus has a soft spot for that type of thing.
Yes, I do. Did you ever play Factorio?
Factorial. No.
That's the very definition of a gateway addiction for that type of strategy game.
I know that we talked about this at the beginning of the show, but as of 2 hours ago, the number of signatures for the petition to remove the CEO of Activision Blizzard is now up to 1,200.
I think that's like, what, 10% of their working force?
I wouldn't be surprised if, like, a quarter of the working force signs this damn thing. I had a very interesting conversation. We talked about this last week with one of the biggest problems with the this generation console, and also the play date, which is the Crank black and white. I think it's e-ink handheld, and that is the scarcity is still there. And yes, I understand. Lots of companies out there love to create phony scarcity so that they can drive up the price of stuff. But as Zealeus and I were talking about last week, a lot of these devices are running into literal shortage of components. One of the main ones, of course, being the CPU. I was talking to an individual the other day, and they're like, is there some kind of magic secret way to just get a PlayStation 5? Because I can't find it anywhere.
I got mine when I was at the car dealership. I remember it was like, I had the alarm on. It was like 2:00 for Walmart. So like there was a trick to doing it like on your phone, not like a hacker. It's just you had to do it just right.
Oh, you have the Uber hacks.
Get into the queue. And I remember like my car was going to be ready at 2:00, but the queue started at 2:00. So I actually like went and like locked myself in the bathroom stall so that like it wouldn't be those like awkward situations where like they're calling your name and they're coming to find you. Like, nope, hold on, I'm busy here. So I definitely locked myself in the bathroom stall so I could order it without like being distracted. Because you also like, even if you got in the queue, you had to like, order it immediately or it was snagged away.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, when the Switch originally released, I got extremely lucky and was at a Walmart off of Howell Mill, if you know what that street is in Atlanta, and they had 2 Switches at like the bottom of the case, kind of pushed to the back, and I bought both of them.
Nice.
And I was like, I'm going to turn a profit. And I sold one to my very good buddy, a fan of the show, Dev. And then I kept hearing about all these awesome games coming out on the Switch. I'm like, because at first I was like, I wasn't anti-Switch, but I was kind of like, how is this thing going to hold up? It's a handheld, but you plug it in, like, I'm afraid I'm going to break it. But like after all these games started coming out and people are going, oh my God, amazing. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to be able to sell the second one because I'm going to have to play it. And to be honest with you, this is my console. The Switch is the console that I go to. Even if I potentially almost break controllers while playing it.
And I didn't lose all my respect for you for being a jackass scalper.
I made like a little bit of money simply because I hand delivered it to my buddy, Dev. That was it. I didn't make like quadruple the price of the Switch.
Console concierge service.
Oh, speaking of which, this was a while ago. There was news about Riot Games working on additional games within the League of Legends universe.
Yep.
And apparently they silently dropped both the games. One of them is called Ruined King, which I need to check out. Like, I've heard some interesting things. I need to check out Ruined King. I can't remember what the second one was. But
Ruined King, League of Legends story.
But I'm going to check out Ruined King. Just so you know. Once I get over the fact that I'm not going to be able to beat FTL with every single freaking ship. Just going to be honest. I won't be able to do it. I'll try, but it ain't going to happen.
Well, maybe you need to click better, sir.
Here's the thing. I need shields. I can't beat the game without shields.
That makes sense.
Apparently, they're relaunching the Saints Row series. I'm all for that. What was the name of the other game?
So apparently, League of Legends Ruined King has a very positive review on Steam as it is.
They actually work on their shit before they push it out. And they make sure that it's good. It's kind of old school. Well, I mean, it's not like they're hitting their deadlines, and sometimes you don't even know what the deadlines are, and they're like, haha, there it is. But it's like old school kind of like Blizzard mentality. Like, they want a good product right off the shelf, digital shelf now, but I'm not surprised.
I mean, aren't they calling them out still with like an MMO RPG, like action RPG? Wasn't that a thing they're doing?
I think that's later. They also came out with a game called Hextech Mania, or sorry, Hextech Mayhem, which is a scrolling rhythm runner. Ooh. Which I know I have rhythm. Zealeus does not. I'm going to be told. Zealeus will even admit to it. He's like a quarter or a half beat off.
Consistently, though.
Yes, absolutely. Consistently. It's not random. It's consistent. If you were to, if we had the ability to delay the audio of Zealeus, or maybe, delay the audio or speed up the audio, we could match it perfectly. But unfortunately, reality doesn't work that way.
So you'll appreciate this. So I was helping out a teacher with a projector, and we put in a new one, and they're like, so when we play these songs, the audio track does not sound correct. I'm like, lady, you got the wrong person to honestly ask. Like, it sounds normal to me. I'm like, but no, how does it sound normal to you? I'm like, clearly you don't know me. You honestly need to get somebody else in here. Because really, to me, I believe you. that does not sound right, but I'm the wrong person to ask for audio advice on how it does not sound.
And speaking of the audio sync, YouTube sometimes sucks balls when it comes to live sport events, because it doesn't matter how much you mess around with trying to sync up the audio, you can't do it.
You know what truly pisses me off about YouTube TV?
What's that?
When you record a game and you go to watch the recording, and as you go to go to your history, I'm going to watch the UGA versus Tennessee game, and right there, smack dab in like size 80 font, score of the game. I'm like, motherfucker, like, I recorded the game. Don't tell me the score right there.
My problem is that most of the sporting events that I click on start like if I want to record a game on, I don't know, ABC at a specific time. For some reason, my DVR will always start the game previous. I'm like, I don't want this one. And then I've got to, seek back and forth until I get that.
One thing I actually really liked about like the old like Comcast DVR system.
Yeah.
Is you could say start, like you'd see UGA's playing, it's a CBS game, so it's going to be 8 hours long. But you could start recording like an hour before and like stop 2 hours afterwards. And like,
yes.
I actually really like that feature because it allowed me to like get the entire gap of it and not miss something, instead of like relying on basically what comes down to Google's maybe magical algorithm of getting the entire game.
Yes. We're only going to record from this time to this time, no matter what.
That would actually be a nice feature to have. Like, I would record this CBS from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock, whatever it is, just record this block of time, which you can't do.
True that.
Mm.
All right. I think we've gone off on a super duper tangent. So
we love our tangents.
Yes, we do. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's maybe time to wrap it up. As we stated at the beginning of the show, we're going to state it at the end of the show. Next Thursday is Thanksgiving. I'm about 98% sure that there will not be a show next Thursday because it's Turkey Day. And also, by the time the show's supposed to start, I'm probably going to be in a turkey coma. What is the chemical in turkey that makes you so sleepy?
Tryptophan?
Yes. I will be probably unconscious because I will have eaten too much turkey. But then again, can you eat too much turkey on Thanksgiving? I think not.
Well, since I don't really like turkey that much.
Well, boo on you, Zealeus.
I like ham.
Whatever.
But
all right.
My sister-in-law's going, and she's a vegetarian, and she always cooks phenomenal vegetarian foods. I might actually just eat hers.
Whatever, dude. No turkey day, all the confusion. Slackers. I tell you what, Sam, if you show up, there's not going to be a Thursday hangout, but I might be on. I might be like, I have to do something on Thursday. But, yeah, whatevs. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we've reached the end of our show. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving everything to come our heads, our mouths, and, of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday. Or no, not next Thursday, but the following Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on eating turkey in the free world.
Amen to that, brother. Gobble, gobble.
Meow.